Hey, this is Professor Ken. I'm at the Food and Beverage Show here in Miami, and I'm with my good friend Charlie, who's with it's Vusion, right?
Vusion, yes.
Okay, good. So, the purpose of our channel is to explain how AI and omnichannel helps not only the customer but also the grocer.
Yes.
So, tell me about that. What are you guys doing out there to make a difference?
Yes, it's a great question. So we started in this ESL business of digital price tags, and everybody's familiar with those. But what's coming now, and what a lot of people are still trying to get the word out, is all of the other in-store tech that is coming to the market and the software that then is powering that tech to give that omni-channel experience where we can bring in the digital coupons and personalization that we've all known in e-commerce,
Right.
and now we can bring it in store as well.
And I think that's the key, Charlie, because personalization is going to separate you from email. All right, look, email is important, right?
Yeah.
During COVID, if you didn't have an email list, you were basically dead in the water. But better than email is personalization.
Yes.
Show me things that want to engage. Know me, and you want to build that relationship, right?
Yeah,
I want you to fall in love with me. I want to fall in love with you. So tell us about that personalization. How does that actually work?
Absolutely. So starts with the data science from my perspective. So we get sales data, we get customer loyalty data, we get supply data. Then in the store, we have Bluetooth, we have radar, we can hook in with CCTV security cameras. Now we know the shopper's entering the store.
Right.
We can communicate them in a couple ways. One is I have digital signs and ESLs that I can personalize as they're walking through the store. I can even aggregate and know what kind of customer segments are in my store at one time. I can also use the Bluetooth to communicate through the app, and I can bring to you, hey, I notice you're down the cereal aisle. There's $5 of savings down this aisle. Would you like us to flash the ESLs that have those coupons? And by the way, this one's in your shopping list.
So I could physically, as I'm walking down the aisle, I'll have a little, hey, a green sign.
You're blue,
hey,
and it's,
right.
and it's flashing blue.
See, and that's pretty amazing. And that's the type of technology, because let's face it, with AI today, shopping 5 years from now is going to look completely different. I think you're at the edge and the forefront of that whole process. So now let's talk about that. How do you feel as a consumer with that technology? Do you think it's intrusive? I'm a marketer. I've been doing marketing forever.
Right.
It's always been about intrusiveness.
Yes.
Me personally, I want you to know a little bit more about me.
Right.
So how do you feel about that as a consumer? Do you think it makes your life easier or not easier?
Yeah. So when I've always shopped in the store, I've assumed that my best deals were online, and I just wanted to make sure I was close when I was in store, but I love the in-store experience.
Yes.
And now, and especially in this economy, everyone's price sensitive.
Yes.
So if I can come into the store and I can know, relevancy certainly matters to your point about personalization, but also price. If I know I'm getting as good of a price, maybe even better,
right,
that I would get online, that is really going to build up my brand perception as I'm in the store.
And let's face it, right now, here we are as we stand here today in 25, price sensitivity is a big thing.
It is.
No one can complete a cart the way they want to at any given single grocer anymore.
Right.
So if I need to shop in different stores, which most people now are doing,
5 on average.
Five on average is about right. I'm at 3 minimum.
Right.
So I want inexpensive beef. I want the best price on eggs, right?
Yep.
I want to be able to fill my cart and spend less money. So how does that work in terms of me accomplishing that goal?
So I'll take it back to personalization. Retailers, unless you're Walmart, you can't afford to run down on price on every item.
Right.
So what I have to know is what are the right items for Ken that I need to run down on to keep your loyalty, still keep my margin,
right,
and have the greatest impact. So I have to know about you. I have to be able to segment you. I have to know about my promotions and what's available, and then match those things together to maximize your shopping experience. And again, in an analog brick and mortar store, I'm very limited how I can do that.
Right.
If I have a full 360 digitized store, I can now bring all of the same benefits of e-commerce to you in the store, and I still get to try like we're doing here at this trade show.
Right.
I can still try the food and have this personal interaction. So I think that we can really, as a store, we can beat e-commerce if we do this.
And I think, and I personally, being spending some time doing that myself, I think that it's a combination of two things. I have to grab your attention, awareness online to let you know, hey, Charles, this is me. I got it. You can get your beef for $3.99 a pound at Ken's supermarket.
Right.
But then I got to have that focus. I got to have you come back into the store because let's face it, I think it's only one time. If a customer shops in store once a week, maybe once it's online.
Right.
But I want you to come into the store.
Yes.
Why? Because now I can get my basket up 15 to 20%.
Right.
And that's the magic of this. What the stores are never going to go away.
Yes.
The question is, how does that physical retail store bring more customers in? And that's the magic of what you're doing.
I think making it personal, and then I think, it's separate from the technology that I'm involved with.
Right.
As I think the somewhat obvious track here is stores are going to have to get better at the back of the store, the back office. That's going to have to be more like a warehouse because you're going to have to fulfill in an omni-channel world, right?
Yes.
And then the center store is probably going to shrink from that, and you're going to have to add fresh ingredients, international, become recipes, chefs, prepared foods, a part of a restaurant.
Right.
And as we add all of those experience, now you combine that with the deals and the price sensitivity. I think that's the future of the store.
Yeah, and let's take a look at what Walmart's doing. And Walmart's doing an incredible job. Now they spent millions of dollars.
Their customer.
Right. I'm a customer. I asked somebody once, do you shop at Walmart? They said, no, but I go and drive in and I pick up groceries from that.
But I pick it up.
So Walmart's doing an incredible job, but they made an investment over time. It's not like they started this yesterday.
Yes.
Okay. So they've made this investment. They're really chasing that consumer. And they're bringing in six-figure. If you go look at the lanes, there's BMWs in there, Mercedes. So it's not the average Walmart shopper.
Right.
So now, if I'm an independent, how do I compete? Can these tools help me compete that way?
So it's interesting. So it's hard, right? I fully appreciate how difficult it is for the smaller folks to compete. My take on it is I see a lot of. We're working with different independents and retailers and the different cultures. And I hate to make it a generational thing, but so far my experience has shown we have some younger owners that are owning 3 to 5 stores, and they're bringing in technology from the gate in their grocery world. And their approach is totally different. And then the shopper experience, if you go into some of these, it actually feels like a Walmart Plus, right?
That's right.
And what's really hard is for those folks who've been running a grocery store for the last 20, 30 years, and they know how to do it very well, the stuff that we're bringing almost feels disruptive.
That's right.
And that transition is very hard. And so at some point we have to figure out either A, how to change, or B, I think there might end up just being a whole new crop of new grocers rather than the existing one changes that come about.
And I think that's the key, because if I'm a new grocer, I understand all this technology and stuff. If you've been around for 90 years, 100 years, 30 years, it's kind of intimidating. You got to learn it. That's where guys like us help out sometimes, right?
Right.
But then think about this, and I always say, look, do you go to Blockbuster anymore? So that's the whole idea. Blockbuster they didn't want to change. And then a small company called Netflix came around. And look what happened, right? So the idea is that I think retailers are always going to be around. However, you have to be competitive. And if you want to get the alphas, if you want to get the Gen Zs now, you have to be online. 97% of all products are being searched online first. So that's a must. All right. So tell me about Vusion, a little bit more about them and what they do.
Well, I'll tell you about them as an add-on to what you were just saying and how independents can compete. So, and I'll use an analogy of the iPhone. The iPhone was excellence in both hardware and software. And because of that, it was easy to use and everyone ran to it. Because it was easy and better at the same time.
Right.
In grocery, we've lived in this a long time. The hardware vendors and the software vendors have been completely different planets. And one of the things that I think is going to make it easier for the smaller shops to compete with the Walmart is I am now with Vusion at an organization that grew up out of the ESLs and is excellence in hardware, and also has made acquisitions and invested in talent that we have now the software expertise as well. And being able to go to a grocer and say, we can equip your store and we can hook into your POS and all of these other data sources, and we can drive automation. A product hasn't moved in 100 days. We know the price elasticity. Let's mark it down and get it moving.
Sure, why not?
You've got too much bakery and it's 3 p.m. Let's start marking that down so you're not throwing it out as waste. There's all of these use cases that open up that are ROI driving that you can't think about in an analog store, and a grocer couldn't realistically doing it by buying 10 other individual systems.
No, and I think if you have this technology, like I'm a big fan of AI and everything AI now, right?
Right, yes.
And look, I'm a little up in age, so I'm not 20-something, and I just love
Young
it.
in spirit.
Young in spirit. It's changed my life.
Yeah.
It really has.
Yeah.
And I'm not just talking about using ChatGPT as a Google machine,
Right.
which is incredible as itself.
Yeah.
But so let's use this technology. Look, grocers are fighting for 1 point, 2 points everywhere they go.
Yeah.
If I could show you how to use AI and the technology that, say, Vusion has,
Right.
to pick up 2 points on an average week sale,
It's the difference maker.
it's a difference maker.
Yeah.
So that's the key. So you have to really jump in with both feet. You have to find someone like yourself, an expert that can help you do this.
Yeah.
But I can tell you right now, 5 years from now, we're going to be shopping completely different. We're not going to be shopping. Yes, there'll still be carts. There'll still be physical stores. But the way that we fill that cart is going to be completely different than the way
Agreed.
it's now.
And it's a snowball. It's only getting harder. So the longer everyone waits, the further behind they are. It's just accelerating.
That's right. And you mentioned tech stacks, and I've been part of some tech stack conversations, and literally a list of this big from a legacy retailer.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, wow, you could eliminate like 30 of those partners. Not that I want to eliminate partners, with one good partner that can now.
Vendor exhaustion is real.
Vendor exhaustion is very real. Well, this is great. It's so great to have you here, part of Omnichannel Grocer.
Thanks,
I really appreciate the insights. And remember that this is where we change the delivery of grocery and bring it right to you. So thanks for joining us. I'll see you out there.
Thank you.